morning and welcome to your Saturday edition of Wasatch Weekends. We've got a great show in store for you. A lot of fun things taking place on the show today. I'm your in-studio host, Maddie Evans, and I love getting to be here each and every morning. Now, today is May 4th, which is known as National Star Wars Day. So for those of you who love Star Wars, may the 4th be with you throughout the course of today. Now, coming up on the show, we're going to introduce you to Holly Johnson. We're going to be making some great salsa in the kitchen with Kim and Ross, which if you're excited for summer and maybe those warmer temperatures, well then salsa is a great way to celebrate that. We're also going to introduce you to Nuzzles & Co., who just got one of the cutest dogs I have seen in quite some time that you're going to want to bring home, and he would love to be part of your family. Now, National Pet Month is this month, as well as National Mental Health Awareness Month. But for National Pet Month, Amazon is doing a pet day, and this is a great way for you to get some great deals on some pet products, and we're going to chat with someone who's going to give us some more information, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. Now, let's take a look at that local weather forecast. Welcome back to the show. A great time of year is spring because that means new beginnings. And if you're someone who's maybe looking for a new beginning with a new job, well then Holly Johnson has got some great tips for you. So let's take a look.
I've got sitting next to me right now Holly Johnson, who has a book out on how successful leaders hire and retain employees. Good morning.
Good morning.
And we were just talking about sometimes this challenge is not necessarily challenge, it's a mindset.
Correct. Well, yes, there is less of a labor force relative to need and demand right now. But one of the things when I was writing this book is that my publisher said, I want you to go out and find out what the barriers to profitability are for business owners and CEOs. That was the topic of my first book, Break Through Your Net Profit Barrier. And when I was talking to them, there was people out there who said they're all lazy and they don't want to work. And then there were other ones who, they said, yes, it's challenging, but if you go through a certain number of steps in a process and you hire a vision versus hiring for the job, you're going to find people that are more career path oriented than job oriented.
They always say, with a career, when you're interviewing, it's got to be a good fit, not just for the person that's applying for the job, but also the company with that certain individual. And so a lot of times people hire out of desperation. They got to fill the hole. They got to get someone in, and they'll just transition someone into a job without going through the right structured interview process. And then what they see is turnover.
Correct. And, the mindset shift is you always want to be hiring toward a career-minded person. And in my book, I say, even the grocery bagger, right?
Right.
If they're hired on a career path, there's a rotation schedule. It's one of the reasons why Trader Joe's is successful at retaining people, is they put everybody on a 2-hour rotation. And that gives people the opportunity to move around, gives them a variety of skills that makes them more marketable, and also teaches them the business of grocery retail. And same with, a restaurant. You may be hiring a wait person. I mean, Europe is really great at this because service people are on a career path, whether they're a server or a chef or whatever. And when you hire at a career path, you're hiring to the vision. So you get them to fall in love with your business and your company, and then they don't really care what they're going to do. And most people write job descriptions in the wrong direction. They write about the job description that doesn't sound very interesting, nor does the title sound very interesting. And then they put the job, they put the wage right up there. I mean, you've got to do a little bit of pre-qualifying.
Right.
But talk about who you are as a company, what you do every day in order to achieve your success, and then go into the character traits that you're looking for. I don't care if you're hiring for a VP or you're hiring for a service person. They've got to buy into your vision, and a lot of companies that I work with don't even have a vision. And
Right.
it's the thing that gets you up every day, and it's why nonprofits are successful at really kind of typically paying lower than normal wages, is because people are committed to the vision.
Yeah, I like what you said about Trader Joe's with offering those different perspectives as someone works through the different departments, and it gives them a clear, oh, this is exactly what I want to do. And it also, as a company, it allows you a lot of flexibility to be able to move people around to help the business and be a little more productive in what you do.
Right. A lot of small business owners, they don't have enough flexibility like Trader Joe's to fill in the gaps to have people doing different things. And, you put a wait person on a bus roll or, in the back of the house, they're going to have a much different perspective of the challenges and vice versa. And I'm not saying that you necessarily need to do that, but hire on a career path and put that. We are looking for career-minded individuals
Right.
who want to learn the restaurant business, who want to learn the insurance business. And I've had two of my clients who just went through the job description, which is detailed in my book on how to write it. I, gave away a few free tips on that one, who ended up not even having to place the ad, that they found people because their whole mindset shifted and they started talking in a way of, this is a really great place to work. We're not just hiring for a job. And I was at the LA Times Book Festival last weekend, and I was talking to a lot of college students, and I said, even though this book is written for business owners and CEOs, if you're looking for a job, there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes we just need to pay the bills and not, we're not on that career path right now, or help
Right.
our way through college. But when you are looking for a career path, make sure that you're looking for companies who hire to vision and character, because then you've got a fit.
What a nice paradigm shift that would be, instead of going out to try to recruit people, having them come to you for a change because they know that your business is one that they want to work for.
And to have the confidence to take the time to find the right person. I mean, there's a 3-step interview process. And part of that is getting out of the way after you, the owner, because most owners don't do that, just at least have an initial conversation with them and act like you care.
Right.
And then kind of get out of the way. And then once you come down to your top 2 candidates, send them out and have lunch with some of your team or all of your team, depending on how big or small you are,
Right.
and say, what's it really like to work here? It doesn't mean that you're not going to have turnover and that you're not going to have somebody who's a great interview that doesn't show up. I mean, I've been there, trust me. My best interview was my worst hire. Lesson learned. But I also didn't do the due diligence. And think about the cost of turnover. So spend a couple extra weeks finding the right people and just
Right.
plan accordingly.
Now, you touched on to kind of that mission and vision of the company that really contributes to the overall culture. How important is that culture to attaining the right person?
So in the list of the top 14 reasons why people left a company in 2023, if you're paying a competitive wage, money wasn't even in the top 5.
Wow.
It's feeling valued and appreciated. They've got to be part of the conversation, which is part of the hiring process. Retention begins at hiring. It doesn't begin after they get in the door. You've already lost them if you haven't hired to that. And to one of the things in the character list, the top 10 character traits you're looking for, in the interview process, ask them to rank themselves on that. Because, and then go, okay, so when I call your references, just kind of planting the seed that you're going to do this,
Right.
how would they rank you? And see what happens. Is it the deer in the headlights? And go,
Right.
and it's okay. We're not looking for perfection here. So you let people say humanness is okay, but integrity is really important to us.
Right.
And knowing that we're going to call your references, would you like to adjust how you rank yourselves? Some
Perfect.
people underrank, some people overrank, but you're looking for the happy medium, and also people who can kind of gauge on how they relate to other people. I mean, let's face it, retail, service, all that, you're front and center. You got to be able to deal with people who may challenge you a little bit, and how do you handle that?
Right. Now, Holly, one of the biggest questions some employers ask is, tell me about your biggest weakness and what's your opportunity? What do you look for in that question when someone answers it?
Well, I'm going to flip this a little bit. One of my favorite questions that I actually stole from my sister is, what makes you work hard? What motivates you to work hard? Implying that, yeah, you are going to work hard.
Right.
And then you understand that. So, I try to shy away from negative things, negative implications, like we have weaknesses. It's just like, where are your strengths and what would you like to improve? And that goes with kind of talking to your staff. If you're kind of looking about, like, let's say you wanted to be the #1 best place to work in Eagle County.
Right.
What does that look like? And go to your team and go, hey, what do we do? What do we do really well? And what can we improve upon? And so you kind of set the stage of, you always want to start out with the positive and then ask for input on, what would you do differently? Or like in the first initial interview, start out, here's here's a little bit about our vision.
Yep.
And, how do you relate to that? And then knowing what our vision is and a little bit about the job or the position, what would you be doing every day in your role to help us achieve that vision? That becomes even more important when you start
Right.
moving up the, managerial
Because that'll start
ladder.
identifying those core values that are ingrained in that individual.
Right, and that also it encourages input. And as the owner, CEO, you don't have to adapt everything, but take the feedback that you get and then explain why you are or aren't going to do something, so that there's a dialogue going on. It's not just you making a decision and then everyone goes like, why did I even bother?
Right. Okay, we talked a lot about the book, the content of the book. Talk about your coaching a little bit and what you can offer to different companies.
Well, kind of back to the mindset thing.
Yeah.
We all need somebody to be accountable for. I mean, Tony Robbins, the coaching guru of the universe, has got a coach, right? And so, I work with business owners who, want to scale, want to get through the glass ceiling, or want to kind of mitigate this. And a lot of what we do is we start out, where are you at? Where do you want to be? And then, I've been a running coach for 18 years. And so I kind of put them on a training program. And there's a very logical process, and it's 1 hour a week on a working call. They get a homework assignment so that they make sure that they're staying focused on moving their business forward, not just the checklist. I mean,
Right.
high-achieving people love to check off all the little things, but the problem is that they spend more time checking off the little things. Not that they don't need to get done, but you got to always be moving the needle forward. What's
Right.
the high-impact task? What's the high income task?
Right.
And then what can you do? And start with the low-hanging fruit. Some people say, oh, start with the hard stuff at the beginning of the day. I was interviewing a gentleman who does sales for a roofing company, and he says, start with a small win and build up your confidence, and then go into the harder stuff.
Well, Holly, thank you so much for joining us today. Growing Solutions Coaching is what Holly's all about. Pick up her book, get some great ideas, great tips, and a good vision for hiring those right people that are going to make your company the best it can possibly be. Thank you, Holly, again for joining me.
My pleasure. Have a great day.
One of my favorite snacks is chips and salsa, and we're going to teach you how you can make your own homemade salsa. Kim and Ross step into the kitchen, bring you a great recipe, and this is the perfect spring and summer snack. So let's take a look at how you can make salsa at home.
We're back and we're in the kitchen.
Yes, we are.
And here we are. We talked about Ross's this or that, and he says he doesn't love being in the kitchen.
No.
And lots of fun stuff today, but we are talking about fun snacks for the big game,
Yeah.
but also just in general. So first of all, big game, who are you pulling for?
Which one?
I don't know,
Which
right?
game?
There
Yeah.
are 4 teams left.
Yeah,
So
no.
Niners, you mentioned
Yeah,
Niners.
I'm pulling for the Niners. Got a preseason bet on the Niners, so I'm kind of riding that out. That's the only reason. But I'm really just looking for good football.
I feel like that preseason bet ties into the love or money question.
That's it. That's it. That's it.
Awesome. Well, we are going to make I'm going to share a family recipe salsa. Granted, it's pretty basic, but it's just the proportions of how you make all the ingredients. So,
Yeah.
are you a salsa guy?
Oh yeah.
Are you
oh,
a
yeah.
cilantro guy?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
yeah.
You know, there is that weird gene where it tastes like soap, but
I feel that.
I love cilantro. I put a ton of cilantro in this recipe. So we'll go ahead and kind of get started.
Sweet,
So
yeah.
it involves cilantro, onion, garlic. I like to add Rotel. We can use diced canned tomatoes if we need it. And then we also have some fresh tomatoes as well. And so you just kind of blend all of that together, see how the flavors taste, and rock and roll from there. So
Sweet.
pretty easy.
Love
so
it.
let's get started. So we've got cilantro here. We've rinsed our cilantro. And what we're going to do basically is you're going to just take a stem, as Ross has right here, and then you're just going to pull the leaves off and throw it into your food processor. This will make a pretty decent amount of salsa. So to me, you can never go wrong.
You drop it like this. Is that how you do it?
Just like that. And
It smells so good.
It does. I love the smell of fresh herbs. And to me, you can use dried cilantro if you need to, but to me, it's not the real thing.
Yeah.
So we're just going to throw a bunch of cilantro in there, and then you don't need a spatula, but we have one just in case to do some extra stirring. And then we've got about a half of an onion. So white onion is important. You can use yellow onion, but always white onion. Don't use red. I mean, you can in a pinch, but.
What's your trick to not crying when cutting onions? Do
So
you
there
have one?
is a trick. There are a couple tricks. Kevin and I have debated this
Okay.
several times on the air.
Okay.
I have learned that you can take a wet paper towel and put it next to the onion while you're chopping it, because the juices and the aroma from the onion is actually drawn to wet surfaces.
Interesting.
That's why, because your eyes are wet. That's
Gotcha.
why your eyes start to water. So if you put a wet paper towel next to it, that helps. But the other trick to cutting an onion appropriately is actually going long ways, just like this, right?
Right.
So we had the root of it at the bottom here, and we cut that off, and then we just cut it long ways.
Gotcha.
So my eyes are not watering now, but I'm just going to do a quick rough chop
Okay.
of the onion.
Okay.
Yeah, so easy, because literally everything's going to blend up.
For the record, I trust you in the kitchen more than Kevin, so I'm gonna take your word on that one.
Surprisingly, Kevin is actually a pretty decent chef.
I saw he
At
cooked
least
up a dinner recently.
The way that he chops is probably the more appropriate way than the way that I do it. But you know, it
no
is what
wrong
it
way
is.
to cut an onion.
My mom teaches culinary arts, and she always yells at me on how I chop my veggies. But it is what it is. I'm a home-taught chef. I have not gone to culinary school.
Nothing wrong with that.
So we're just going to do a quick rough chop of the onion. It really doesn't matter like how small you make it. So we're just going to do that, and then we're going to probably just throw it in there just like that. So our onion's chopped, and then we add the cilantro. You are crushing the cilantro game.
Yeah, the trick is to go slow and steady with the cilantro. You don't want to, get it too fast.
It's
you want
true.
to go nice and steady with it.
You know, I also, well, you can do it fast, but here's another fun trick. If you take your fingers,
Oh,
see
and
if I
just
can do
run
it,
down the
and just
stem?
run down the stem, it pulls it off. That's, if I have to make this in a pinch, that's usually how I do it.
I apologize, Mrs. Perot. I'm ruining your daughter's
He's crushing
strategies here.
crushing it. So then, okay, so we've rough chopped our onion. We've got 2 cloves of garlic. The skin is still on it, and I'm going to show you a easy way to get the skin off. So you can, or the outer layer,
Skin, yeah.
the paper, whatever you want to call it. I
Yeah.
don't even know what the official term is. Take your knife, blade side out, sharp side out, and then you're just going to press it down just like that. And there you go. Everything kind of comes off. You can do a quick little rough chop, and there is your garlic. Easy. Right in
Amazing.
there, right? So I'm going to do that with our second piece. I'm just going to take the palm of my hand, make sure that I'm not underneath the blade, do a quick little cut there. Looks like
Do you ever roast garlic? Just throw it
I
like,
do.
the whole
I
thing
love
in?
roasting
Yeah.
garlic. It's the best. It looks like I missed a little bit. It didn't squeeze right out like I wanted it to, but just smash it down. Very easy. And we're just going to put it here, make sure that you don't get that in there. But it's okay if you do, because we're about to blend it all up anyways.
What's your other trick too? So when I'm in the kitchen, I feel like I'm like doing this, and then I'm rinsing my hands, and then I'm doing this, and then I'm rinsing my hands. What's your trick to like get through a full cooking?
Great question. I'm the same. So
Yeah? Okay.
I don't know that I have an answer for you. So we are putting our food processor in. I love my Ninja. I know a lot of people swear about the Vitamixes, but I like the Ninja here. So we're going to go ahead and plug that in. And you know what else everybody likes? And what I like? Kitchen noises. We're about to make some here. Once I get the lid on it here, so it's got arrows, just turn it on, and we're just gonna do a light chop right here. And you just kind of chop it up a little bit. And you can see that, and then we'll do a little bit more. All right, looks great, because we're gonna continually layer and press the button, right? So throwing the onion in now, we'll do that too. So the next thing, and you are welcome to do this part, we're going to rough cut the tomatoes. So we have 2 tomatoes already cut and ready to go. So what I did with the tomatoes is I cut the tops off, and then you squeeze the juice out of it, which seems counterintuitive because salsa is juicy, right? But if you have too much of the juice of the tomato in it, it makes it extra watery. So we squeezed all the juice out there. And then we're gonna go ahead and rough chop everything else there, so it looks great. So if you want to just kind of cut this into maybe like thirds or fourths, pretty easy.
Yeah.
No pressure, Ross.
Yeah,
I'm
super
watching
easy.
you cut the tomato. You just need to cut it about even like half or thirds, whatever is easiest, because we're just gonna throw it in here and blend it as well. But this just makes the processor to get through it a little bit better. Looks great.
Beautiful.
Yeah, great.
Throw them in.
So throw them in here, and if you want to, maybe we can even do a little bit of a smaller cut on this
Smaller
next
cut?
one.
Okay.
Yeah, so
That was such a nice way to say, Ross, cut those smaller.
looking great, and you can even, if you wanted to, just kind of cut them in half a little bit more too.
Cut them again.
Why not? Let's
Sure,
do it.
why not?
Let's throw a little extra. Good job, nailing it. Perfect. Looks great. Look at that. You're a chef. Cooking lessons on the air.
Straight
it's
on
perfect. Straight on in there. So we'll throw that in there, right? And then we're going to put this back on. And you'd think I would know by now. I use this thing all the time. There we go.
Just
Handle
like that.
towards me is how you do it. Yeah, I love this Ninja. A lot of people have the Vitamix, but this comes with like 4 different options to, I'm just gonna get that in there. Lots of fun. All right, there we go. And we're good to go. So we're just gonna do a quick little blend there, right? So everything's looking good, smelling good,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
Smelling
yeah.
great. And that looks good to me because we're still gonna layer it. So you're probably going, if you can see, it looks a little bit like pico de gallo right
Yeah.
now, right? So we're going to add our can of Rotel. So if you want to open that for me.
Yeah, of
We're gonna
course.
do 1. We can do 2. I like it spicy, but we'll try just with 1 for now. And then we also have some garlic salt. So I don't throw my salt or the garlic powder. I know we already have fresh garlic in there, but garlic salt just gives it a little extra pizzazz, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And then just dump that in there.
I love them with the green chilies.
I do too.
This is
I do too.
Great can for
And that's what
anything.
gives it its spice. You can add, at the end, I always add a little bit of extra Cholula or hot sauce, depending on the level of spice that I want. So we're gonna put this back on here. Looking great. And then Ross, if you can do me a favor and we've got a lime and we want it nice and juicy. So kind of roll it a few times and that kind of loosens it up and gets the juices flowing. But that's gonna be our last minute addition to this salsa. So we're just gonna blend it up.
Smells so good.
Looking great. All right, looks good. We're gonna add 1 more can of tomato. We're gonna throw that one in there, and that one's an easy one. Just pop the lid, dump it in there. There we go. Looks great, nailing it. So good, awesome. And then
Beautiful.
we're gonna add a little bit of the garlic salt. So I like garlic salt because it's got the salt, it's got a little bit of the garlic flavor. And we're just gonna, looks like a lot, but I promise you with the amount of salsa that's in here, that's not a lot. All right,
add more.
we're gonna blend it, and then at the end, we're gonna squeeze in the lime juice, and then we're gonna taste it. And we are almost done with this super simple, delicious salsa recipe.
Super simple.
It's a phrase I'm trying not to say. All right. Looking good. I think it's time to slice that lime. And we're gonna grab some tortilla chips. I'm just gonna squeeze both of the halves of the lime in here.
I'm a scoops guy.
I like scoops too,
I
but you know
I
what?
that.
I just grabbed what was closest
That's okay.
at the end of the grocery aisle.
That is okay.
They are definitely prepping for the big game. You've got all the chips
Oh, I bet.
outlining
Yeah, I bet.
everywhere all the chips and all the dips. But you know what? We're just gonna do a quick little blend to mix that juice and get it all in there. And we are done with a delicious homemade fresh salsa. Wanna try it?
Yeah, I do. It
Get on
smells
in there.
really good.
All right. It smells like lime, it smells like cilantro and fresh tomatoes. What do you think?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
Yep.
good.
Restaurant quality, delicious.
Throw some queso next to it. Done.
We'll bring the recipe back from last time.
Yeah,
there we
there
go.
we go, yeah.
Awesome. So Ross and I are in the kitchen having a lot of fun, and Ross is slowly becoming a chef. We'll be right back after this.
I teased you a little bit earlier about a great dog that you could bring home. Well, we're going to introduce you to Malibu, who I had a chance to catch up with Josh from Nuzzles & Co. And Malibu has the cutest face I've ever seen, so let's introduce you. Are you looking for the most perfect adventure buddy? Well, then Josh from Nuzzles is joining me with one that has already stolen my heart. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning. How are you today?
Well, I don't have that love bug sitting with me, so not as good as you are.
This is Malibu. He's quite the cute little flute. How are you, bud? Malibu, we're guessing, is somewhere between 7 and 9 years old, so we're referring to him as a senior dog. He comes to us from Summit County Animal Control, and we don't exactly know why he was brought there. I do know he was an owner turnover, so for whatever reason, somebody made the difficult decision to relinquish their pet. He was at Summit County for a couple of weeks, and then we pulled him to bring him here. And we've been enjoying his puppy energy despite being an older dog. He knows some basic commands like sit and stay and come. And he's really cute.
He is so cute. His coloration is so wonderful. And now you got quite an interesting list of dog breeds to make Malibu who he is.
Yeah, so whenever we get told stuff from other organizations, we never know like how they got the information. So I'm always told to take it with a little bit of a grain of salt. But we were told he is a Pyrenees Beagle Collie mix. So that may or may not be true. And he certainly has a little bit of a Pyrenees look to him.
I immediately noticed that as someone who loves Pyrenees because they have the greatest dog personalities. I was like, he looks like he could be part Pyrenees. But his dark colored spots on his face and his ears are so unique and so adorable.
He's so soft and floofy. He's just like this big ball of energy. He's about 56 pounds and just brings a lot of joy to our days every day. Like, it's hard for me to look at him and go, "You're like 7 to 9 years old." You're like he has a lot of puppy energy in him still. So somebody who's looking for an adventure buddy, as you said earlier, a fun companion who's going to bring a lot of joy to their lives, like Malibu is the dog for you.
Malibu, look back at the camera. You just did and you were so cute. Malibu, look over here. Malibu. He's so cute. Oh my goodness, the colors. Oh, look at those little teeth. Oh my goodness. And so you haven't had him for very long, hoping to find him a home, especially because he's used to being at someone's home.
Yeah, my guess is he was someone's pet and they had to make a hard decision for whatever reason. He definitely has had some basic training and like he jumped right on my office chair here for this and just I don't know. He's a fun guy to have around. I think he has lived in a home, and I think he's going to make somebody a great pet.
Oh my gosh, and Pyrenees do have the greatest personalities. Not only do they keep you safe, but they're snugglers, they're perfect companions, and then bringing maybe the beagle and the shepherd into it. They're a healer, right?
Collie.
Border collie.
I think
Collie.
they said collie, but
Yeah.
again, take it with a grain of salt.
Could be any of them. Who knows?
Yeah.
Oh
Hi,
my
bud.
gosh. And so what's the process? Oh, what a sweetheart. What's the process like if someone wants to adopt Malibu?
So when you go to nuzzlesandco.org, our website, you can click on all the different animals that are up for adoption. Come here. What's over here? And if you
Malibu.
click on if you click on his picture, you're actually able to get the link to his application. Fill out the application. We look that over, and if everything is good, then we approve the application, and then from there we move on to contracts. In our society, dogs are still considered property, so it becomes a transfer of ownership, and then you get to bring this lovely floof into your home and add lots of joy.
Which another perk of him coming to you guys is all of the medical that he may need in this particular moment will be taken care of before he goes to his next forever home.
Correct. As soon as he got here from Summit County, like we did a medical assessment on him. The vets took a very close look, and they said, with that age range, we actually think he's probably closer to 7 because he looks really healthy and he's really kind of fit and active. So we think you got a healthy, happy dog who's just ready for a home.
Oh, he deserves the most beautiful, unconditional love. Now, last time you and I spoke, we were talking a lot about kitten season coming up because it is spring, which means there are going to be a lot of baby kittens around. How can people get involved to help you guys with that?
So one of the pieces of advice we said is if you find kittens in the wild, like don't immediately intervene, wait around and make sure mom is taking care of them because she might be out hunting. If you see that they're dirty or they need some care, that's maybe when you call animal control and get them involved. We do have opportunities for fosters to take animals home. We've had some neonatal kittens come through recently, so that requires bottle feeding on a pretty regular schedule. There's an application on our website to become a foster, ways to get involved, and you just fill that out and let us know what you want to do. And then really anybody can volunteer if you want to come to the adoption center and play with the kittens that we have in the condos. They're there until they get adopted, and they obviously would love some human attention.
Oh my gosh, I can't get over his face and how cute he is. You're talking and I'm listening about kittens. I'm picturing kittens and then I'm just like entranced by how cute he is and those color spots on his face. Now, if people maybe don't have the time to donate or maybe they can't foster, there's some other great ways for them to be involved.
Certainly. I mean, we can always use donations, whether that's a supply, dog food, toys, anything of that nature. And then we can certainly take your financial donations. That's how we live. We are a nonprofit who is, funded basically by the kindness of the community and grants. So you can certainly do that. And if you even want to do a fundraiser in your own home and just have a party and have your friends donate, like that's certainly an option for you as well.
Which is such a wonderful way to just start getting involved with you guys as a nonprofit, especially if maybe someone can't make the foster commitment. Now, if someone can't commit to taking a dog full time, a foster dog is a great way to kind of fill that void in someone's heart.
Yeah, I mean, if you do a lot of traveling and or you want to test the waters of what it's like to have a pet in the home, fostering is a great way to open your home and your heart and take everything for a test drive and see how that goes.
Which is incredible, and it's a great way to just maybe smush some faces and give him kisses because he's been kissing you, which is so cute. And there's no better love in this world than animal love because it's the purest, most unconditional form. Now, you guys are also taking donations of dog beds, toys, food, towels, things to help you around the ranch as well.
Yeah, literally anything that you think is used in the care of animals, we can use it. We go through a lot of cleaning supplies, a lot of toys, and a lot of towels actually. Those things don't always survive. So those are high on our list. We're fortunate we have a company who donates litter to us every year, so that's one thing that we're pretty well covered on. But everything else you can think of, we can always use a little help.
Josh, thank you so much for taking the time, giving us all this great information. Now, if people are looking to get involved, what's the website?
nuzzlesandco.org, and that's nuzzlesandco.org.
And then, of course, if they're interested in taking Malibu home and bringing that cute face into their life, how do they do that?
You can start with an application, or you can literally give us a call and find out if he's at the adoption center or the ranch, and then just come and meet him in person. Especially if you have another dog already, I always recommend do a meet and greet. But I think it's hard to not fall in love with this guy as soon as you meet him. So come meet him.
Josh, thank you so much for taking the time introducing us to Malibu. Look at that face one more time. If you are not smitten, then I don't know what to tell you, because that is a perfect dog face. So make sure that you check out Nuzzles & Co. You bring home Malibu and you welcome him into your forever home. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show.
Very
I think that you should bring Malibu home, and then you should spoil Malibu with Amazon Pet Day. I had a great chance to catch up with Jen Ray, who's going to give us information on what you can expect for Amazon Pet Day, what Amazon Pet Day is, and how it gives back to some of those pets that we all know and love. Let's take a look. Are you a proud pet owner, much like myself? Well, then Amazon Pet Day is the perfect way for you to celebrate your furry friends at home. And I've got Jen Ray joining us to give us some more information. Good morning, Jen.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Look at the assortment of great goodies that you have in front of you right now.
We have so many fun deals that will be available for Pet Day. If you don't know, Amazon Pet Day is how we're celebrating National Pet Month. We're bringing it back for the third year, and we'll have 48 hours of deals on pet products and supplies, so everything you need to pamper that pet you have at home. And we're encouraging everyone to mark your calendars for the sale date of May 7th and May 8th.
Which is right around the corner, and this is a great way to really celebrate your pets, just like you said. Now, what are some of the deals people can expect to get this year?
We really have something for every pet you might have, but we've got some customer love deals that are back this year that we're excited about, like 20% off of our Furbo pet cams. These are great if you're trying to keep an eye on and keep in touch with your pets while you're away at work. It's flea and tick season is kicking off, so having up to 30% off of our Frontline for cat and dog is a really great time to stock up on that. And then tons of deals on treats and food. You know, we're always running out of those, so having up to 30% off Rachel Ray Nutrish, as well as 15% off Purina Bacon. We've also got these amazing dental chews from Whimsies that'll be up to 20% off, and a small business over here, Bundle and Joy. These are a favorite treat as well. In addition, we've got lots of toys, even electronics, quite a wide variety of options, and not just for cats and dogs. We have items on deal like toys for birds, as well as habitats for reptiles. Whatever you can think of, we should have something to really help treat your pet.
No matter the pet, you guys have them covered. Now, how else is Amazon supporting the pets during Amazon Pet Day?
So as a part of how we are supporting pets this National Pet Month and celebration of Amazon Pet Day, we've teamed up with a number of animal welfare organizations across the country to sponsor them and really help further their missions of supporting the pets in their local communities.
And what are some great tips that maybe people could use if they have a new dog at home?
Sure. I mean, well, I might not be the expert on how to train or anything. We do have some great products that can help, get new puppies and any pet in your life to really feel at home. I think having a really good treat so that you can help affirm any positive behaviors is always a good option. These Outward Hound slow feeders are a really good tool we have options for both cat and dog if they're kind of a fast eater, helps them engage their brain, and certainly having toys that they love so you can just, again, treat them and make things like a game and very playful and fun so that they're enjoying things as well.
Now, where can people go to learn more information about Amazon Pet Day and maybe the charitable aspect as well as everything that they can shop?
You want to visit amazon.com/petday. And you will want to come back on May 7th and May 8th to shop all of those savings, but you don't have to wait. We actually have early deals live now. Those deal dates vary, so check back often and then mark your calendar for the best deals on May 7th and 8th.
Jen, thank you so much for meeting with us, taking all this time and giving us all this great information to help us celebrate our pets at home.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Make sure that you mark your calendars. You're not going to want to miss Amazon Pet Day. It doesn't matter the pet that you have at home. There's something that you can get on a great deal to celebrate National Pet Month. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned. I had a chance to sit down and chat with singer-songwriter Sarah Reeves. Now, she's got a new hit single that came out yesterday, and you're going to want to listen to this anthem to help you be more inspired, more empowered, and just all around feel better. So let's hear what she has to say about the song. We love to introduce you to maybe artists you haven't heard of before, or maybe artists that you already love. And we've got Sarah Reeves, singer-songwriter, joining us. Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm so wonderful. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for taking the time to be here and chat with us. I was actually hyping myself up for this interview early this morning with Get Your Fight Back.
Oh, okay. I love that.
Now, you've got a new song coming out for people to be excited about, to maybe pre-download. So give us some more information on it.
Yes, it's called More Than Enough, and it comes out this Friday, May 3rd. And I wrote it actually going through or coming out of a really hard time in my life. I went through a big life change. I went through a divorce after being married for 10 years with my partner for a total of 13 years. And so that was basically my whole adulthood, and I didn't know myself away from him. And I remember the number one emotion I felt was fear that I couldn't be alone, fear of just not being able to be independent, not being able to do hard things. And slowly but surely, I started taking these baby steps into my future. And I heard this quote one time that says, "Nothing changes in the moment, but when you look back, everything is different." And that's kind of how I felt. So I look back on the last 2 years, and I've accomplished so much on my own, and I've traveled to so many places, and just really proud of the woman that I've become and just the confidence that I have now. And so I wrote this song to encourage other people that maybe they're going through the same thing, or maybe they're just not feeling enough or adequate. Maybe they have dreams in their heart and they're like, I could never do that. But really, you can do anything you set your mind to. You have such amazing capacity, and you're so worthy and valuable. And all you have to do is just believe in yourself.
I think it's so incredible how artists like yourself can take a really vulnerable situation to almost personal to share, but yet you share it and then you empower other people to push past if they're in a similar situation. What does it feel like to be so vulnerable to so many?
It feels good, because I really, at the end of the day, we're all human, like just because I'm an artist and maybe a public figure in some sort, like it doesn't mean that I don't go through hard things. And I want to use my platform to help people, and there's no hurt that is ever wasted. We can either choose to let it destroy us, or we can choose to allow it to make us stronger and use it to help someone else in the future that might be going through the same thing. And so it's really not hard, because I see how many people that it helps, and I'm like, I'm so glad that I can be open. I don't have to air my dirty laundry, all of the details and everything, but I can say, you know what, I do understand how this feels. And I think sometimes people just need that alone to know that they are not alone, and that someone else is going through something very similar.
Which is such a great way to connect to your audience. So as you were writing this song and clearly feeling some heartache of your own, what was your writing process like?
So it's different every time. But really, when I wrote this song, I was already kind of past the really broken grieving phase. For me, I was in a really good place, and lately I've been really healthy. And not to say that I'm perfect and I don't have my moments, but with this round of music, I really feel like I'm healthier than I've ever been. And so now I'm not writing songs necessarily to myself as much as I am to the audience, which feels really good. And so I had a few people, a few co-writers on this song with me that I actually had just met that day. And I knew that I wanted to write kind of this like power anthem. and they just were like on board with it. And this song came out, and I walked away, and I was like, wow, that's everything that I wanted it to be. So yeah, the process is always different, but that one was a lot of fun to write.
Which is so incredible because you've been doing this for so long. You signed your first record deal at the age of 18.
I did, yes. It's been a long journey.
What an incredible journey, and you have so many great other songs and songs that people will recognize from movies and TV series, and so your career has really just continued to expand, and so I'm really excited to hear this song because I feel like this is going to be my summer anthem.
Yes, thank you. I hope it is.
Now, if people are interested in maybe deep diving into some of your music, what are your favorite songs that you've produced?
Really, my last album, Best Days, that one came out September of last year. And obviously, it's always like the latest projects that are my favorite. So if they want to do a deep dive, that one would be a good one to kind of take in. There's 16 songs on that, so there's a lot of content there that you can kind of listen to, and also a lot of music videos on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Sarah Reeves Music. I'm always on Instagram and TikTok, so don't go too far back because, you know, I did start very young and I've evolved a lot and changed a lot. And I wish I could take certain things off the internet, but it is what it is. It's a part of the journey.
Sarah, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us and giving us all this great information.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your support.
Make sure that you mark your calendars and you download Sarah Reeves' up-and-coming single that's about to be released, her new release, this Friday, May 3rd, because I know I have it on my calendar, so I hope you do as well. We want to thank you so much for tuning into your Saturday edition of Wasatch Weekend. What a great show. We had so many wonderful things about pets. Now, you can bring a new pet into your home and then you can spoil the new pet in a very short period of time. Make sure you mark your calendars for Amazon Pet Day and make sure that you get on your phone and you listen to Sarah Reeves' new hit single because it's going to be the anthem of the summer. Again, we want to thank you so much for being here. We hope to see you tomorrow for your Sunday edition of Wasatch Weekends. I've been your host, Maddie Evans, and I'll see you there.